Good evening, everyone, and happy Easter to those of you who celebrate Easter. This is concert number 28 for us. This is the end of our 4th week of doing this virtual jazz club. Thank you all so much for watching tonight and for being along on this journey with us as we create this kind of new way of sharing our music with you. We really appreciate it. The song that you just heard was Maria from West Side Story, and that was our arrangement from our West Side Story album, which we released last year. And I saw that Mary Lou, your mom, just shared our video, and she is Maria, so we dedicate that to you.
Yeah.
Muchas gracias. Thank you for being with us tonight. Tonight we'd like to start off with a great piece of music by Rodgers and Hammerstein. And this comes from the musical The King and I, and it's called Shall We Dance, not to be confused with another song called Shall We Dance. And there are also a couple movies called Shall We Dance, but this particular version comes from The King and I. And this arrangement is by a pianist named Ted Rosenthal. And I actually heard this, a recording of this arrangement on Jazz 90.1 last year, or actually I think it was 2 years ago. I'm losing track of time. I think it was 2 years ago. I was in the car and I heard it, and when they announced the song, I immediately went home and downloaded it because I love this arrangement so much. So we transcribed it, and here it is. Shall we dance?
Shall we?
Yes, we shall. That was Shall We Dance by the great songwriting team Rodgers and Hammerstein. And that comes from the musical called The King and I. And that arrangement was by a great pianist named Ted Rosenthal. And I'd like to say a special shout out to Phil Dodd if he's watching this, because I think I mentioned a few minutes ago before we started that I first heard that arrangement on 90.1, and I'm pretty sure Phil was playing it that day on the radio because it was exactly during the time that Phil is normally on the air. And I got a really kind email from Phil today, and we just appreciate your kind words so much, and we thank you so much for tuning into our videos every day. So thanks so much, Phil. If you're joining us tonight, feel free to leave a comment and say hello. Let us know where you're watching from. It's always so much fun for us to know how far our music is traveling. It feels like every day it's reaching more and more people, which is wonderful. The internet's a very powerful tool that we have. Yeah. So, my dad informed me that today is the birthday of the legendary pianist and composer Herbie Hancock. He's one of the few, I want to say, kind of jazz legends that's still with us today, and he's still going strong. He's still performing and recording and doing all sorts of awesome things. He just is like an all-around cool person. And Herbie Hancock wrote a great autobiography that was published a few years ago. I want to say maybe in 2014 or 15. Antonio and I both read it.
Possibilities.
Yeah,
Right? Yeah,
it's called Possibilities. It's a wonderful book if you're looking for a great book to read during this time. You don't have to be a musician to appreciate it. I think the way that he told his story is very compelling, for anybody to read. And you can certainly appreciate and understand it even if you're not a jazz musician. So
There's a lot of
highly recommend.
history of jazz and
Yeah.
music and technology.
Yes.
Because Herbie is one of the,
So actually, there's one part of the book that I'd like to share real quick that I hopefully my memory serves me correctly. But I distinctly remember one part of the book where apparently Herbie Hancock was one of the first people to use instant messaging over the internet. So he somehow he knew, I think it was a Japanese gentleman who was like on the forefront of this internet technology that was coming up in the 80s or 90s. And apparently the man who was kind of running this program for the first time kind of showed Herbie Hancock a preview of it before it was like released to the public. And Herbie Hancock said that he couldn't believe that he could send a message through the internet, like typing to somebody else in another part of the world. And he was already predicting how that was going to change the future of music and life as we know it.
And that is early 80s?
Yeah, I might not be remembering the year. It must have been 80s, but we can look it up in the book later. But anyway, happy birthday, Herbie. If you happen to be listening to this, this is for you. We'd love to play your beautiful composition called Maiden Voyage. happy birthday, Herbie Hancock. Thank you so much for your inspiration and all your beautiful music that you've brought to the world in your wonderful career. Thank you so much. That was Herbie Hancock's composition called Maiden Voyage. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. If you're enjoying the music and you'd like to make a contribution to show your support so that we can keep doing these videos as long as possible, please head on over to lauradubin.com. There's a link right in the video here at the top of the page, or maybe it's on the side of the screen, depending on what kind of device you're using right now. But there are 3 different ways you can make a contribution if you'd like to show your support. The first way is, of course, you can download our albums. We've got 7 albums for you to choose from. So if you don't have our complete collection yet, we'd love it if you would download our albums so that you've got our music. You'll have plenty of music to listen to these next few weeks, months, years. And we're working on album number 8 now, but there are 7 albums there, so yeah, plenty of music. You can also make a one-time donation. There are several amounts that you can choose from, but you can adjust any of them if you would like to by changing the quantity. And you'll see that as the second option on the page. If you scroll down past the pictures of the album covers, that's where you'll see that option. And then the third and final option, if you keep scrolling all the way down, you will see a yellow button that says subscribe, and you can become a monthly patron of Laura Dubin Jazz. There are several amounts there that you can choose from that you'd like to contribute once a month. And when you click on the subscribe button, you'll be taken to a PayPal website. And from there, you can set up an automatic monthly payment with your credit card. So you don't have to, you can just set it up one time and then just let it sit there. And once a month, it will be deducted, just like you might use autopay for some of your bills. There's no penalty if you decide to cancel further down the road. If your situation changes and you're unable to keep contributing once a month, there's no penalty or anything like that. And PayPal stores your information securely. And my website is also secure. We don't have any access to your bank info or anything like that. However, if you want to make a donation but you don't want to do it online, please send me a Facebook message here. You can send me a private message and we can talk about another method. And if you're unable to make a donation right now, that's okay. We really appreciate you listening to our music and watching our videos. And I want you all to know that I'm really sincere. I really mean that when I say it. I know for those of you who have been watching all our videos these last few weeks, you've heard me repeat this a lot, but we've always got new listeners joining us every night. So of course, we need to share this, but we really, truly appreciate your support. Those of you who have contributed already, and those of you who have been watching our videos and sharing the videos, thank you so much. We really appreciate it.
Thank you all our friends and family. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So let's see, what's next on the menu? Oh, this is a great tune. So, I mean, they're all great tunes. I mean, why would we play them if we don't think that they're great tunes? We might be biased, but
different,
different
mood.
Yeah. So if my friend Emily Champion happens to be watching, I'm going to dedicate this one to her because I know how much she loves the trumpet player Lee Morgan. He's her personal musical hero. This is a really fun tune by the great trumpet player Lee Morgan, who had such a prolific and prodigious career. I think he was kind of, one of those child prodigies who was recording and performing from a very young age. And he was a really amazing composer. All his compositions have something really unique to them and all a little bit different. But this tune is just so much fun. You can't help but be in a good mood when you hear this or play it. And for me personally, it always makes me want to dance. So this is Lee Morgan's composition called Sidewinder. And if there are any Austin Powers fans out there, you might also recognize a little bit of soul bossa nova in the beginning of this. It's a composition by Quincy Jones.
We played the theme for it's twice, right?
Yeah.
Just once for
yeah. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. tune is so much fun to play that is called The Sidewinder by the great trumpeter and composer Lee Morgan, and that comes from his album of the same title. It's such a great album.
Austin backwards, yeah.
Yeah.
That, like.
A little intro. We just kind of realized that the Austin Powers song, which I don't remember if it was actually composed for the movie or if the tune already existed and was used in the movie, but either way, I always associate it with that movie. But we like suddenly realized today that those two songs work together really well, so put it together there for you. Next, we'd like to play a piece by Bill Evans. We've played a few Bill Evans compositions and arrangements recently. So as many of you know, he's another one of my piano heroes, and I think that the majority of jazz pianists around the world most likely would say the same thing. He's been highly influential on generations of not only pianists, but just jazz musicians in general. And this is a tune he wrote called Perry's Scope. Kind of spelled like periscope, except it's Perry '(S) scope. And I believe he composed it for his girlfriend at the time, who was named Perry. Incidentally, that was also my great-grandma's name. So yeah. I think her name was spelled Perry, but I think it originally would have been like the Italian spelling with an I, like this tune. So hope you enjoy Perry's Scope. That was Perry's Scope by the pianist and composer Bill Evans. I love tunes with titles like that are like play on words, plays on words.
Yeah.
Yeah. Any kind of funny title. As many of you know, a lot of my own compositions have silly title's funnier than Perry's Scope, or maybe weirder than that one. But yeah, it's such a fun tune. We've got a couple more for you before we say goodnight. For those of you who might be watching for the first time, we are doing these concerts every single night, no matter what's going on, every night at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
This is the number 28.
28. This is 28, yeah.
Yay.
So we're almost at a month now. It's kind of amazing how fast it seemed to go by, because, like, on one hand, the days of the week are kind of obsolete now in this time that we're living through. Like, I feel like almost every day I'm like, what day is it? Is it Monday? And then it's actually like Saturday, which is kind of cool, because it's when the opposite happens in real life, when you think it's the weekend and then suddenly you wake up and you realize it's Monday. It's like not as fun, but on one hand, it kind of seems like time is passing so slowly now. But on the other hand, this has actually made this time go by really fast for us. And we have not repeated one tune since we've started. Been doing 6 tunes or so every night. So that's 6 times 28. It's a lot of music we've played so far in a short period of time. And we're going to see how long we can keep going without repeating a song. So next we'd like to play a piece that was composed by a great saxophonist and composer named Joe Henderson. And it's kind of a Brazilian sounding tune, although it's clearly got like a lot of his own jazz influence in it as well. This is called Recorda-me. that was Recordame by the saxophonist Joe Henderson. And we've got just one more tune to play for you tonight, but we'd love to stick around and say hello to all of you for a few minutes afterward. For those of you who might be watching for the first time tonight, that's what we'd love to do after we finish the music. So feel free to leave a comment and say hello if you haven't done so already, because we will say hi to you in real life, in person, after we play our next and last tune here. Once again, if you're enjoying the music tonight and you'd like to show your support for what we're doing so that we can keep making these videos for as long as possible, please head on over to lauradubin.com. There's a link right in the video here, and the link will actually take you to the music/store page of my site. So there are 3 different things you can do there. You can download all of our albums. You'll see all these pictures of our album covers there, and if you click on them, you'll be able to actually sample the tunes on each album, and then from there you can put them in your shopping cart, your online cart, and everything is pretty self-explanatory and straightforward.
Still, some people is ordering the physical album, which is very nice.
That's true. Yeah, you can order the physical album.
Probably for this
still.
time, it's more convenient just to download.
Yeah, I think it's a little better if if you're able to do the download at this time. I think it's a little easier for everybody at this time. Although if you do want a CD, we do have them.
Yeah, if somebody's interested, please just let us know.
Absolutely,
and of course we can send it.
We got all the CDs except for our classical one. That one's sold out. But we have all the other 6 CDs available still.
That one is available for download.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you can still download it. We just don't have any physical copies left of that CD, which is not a bad thing for us. Not a bad thing for us to sell out of our CDs. Right underneath the CDs, you will see a place where you can also make a donation. There are several amounts that you can choose from, but you can also adjust any of them if you'd like to by changing the quantity. So say, for example, you'd like to donate $40, but you don't see that amount there. You can go to the $20 option and then change the quantity to 2. So just an example of how that would work if you're interested. And the third and final option, if you scroll all the way to the bottom of the same page, you can become a monthly patron of Laura Dubin Jazz. And you will set that up through PayPal. When you click on the subscribe button, you'll be redirected to a PayPal site. And you can choose the amount that you'd like to donate once a month, and you'll set up an automatic credit card payment from there. And then after you set it up this one time, you don't have to do anything again after that. There are several amounts you can choose from, and PayPal stores your information securely. My website is also secure. However, if you want to make a donation and you prefer not to do it through the internet, please send me a message and we can talk about another method. And for the monthly subscription, if you choose that option, you can always cancel further on down the road if you, if your situation changes and you need to stop doing the automatic payment. There's no penalty if you need to do that. So just to let you know. If you're unable to make a donation at this time, that's totally okay. We thank you all so much for watching tonight and for spending your Sunday evening with us, especially your holiday. For those of you who celebrate Easter, thank you for making us a part of your celebration today. Yay! Yeah. So our last tune tonight is going to be a Thelonious Monk composition, and you can never go wrong with a Monk tune. And this is I think this is actually one of the first jazz tunes I ever learned when I began taking lessons. Of course, I can play it much better now than I could back then when I was like 13. But it's, every tune is always a work in progress your whole life, and things always change every year and every decade as you lose your skin cells and you gain new skin cells every 7 years. You become a new person, apparently. Something like that. I'm sure a scientist could explain it much better than I just did. But, as you go through those changes in your life, musical changes happen too. And you can always come back to tunes that you played years ago and find a new, fresh way of playing them. Anyway, this is Thelonious Monk's composition called Well You Needn't. And the vocal version of this song, the lyrics of the kind of punchline, the musical punchline of the melody are, "It's over now." So it's a good tune to play at the end of our set. Nice. It's over now.
Is the mic off, right?
Yeah.
Can you use it to tuck tuck?
Yeah, that's all.
Thank you.
it's over now. That is all the music for tonight. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. We really appreciate you being here, and thank you to those of you who have left a comment. I see a lot of comments popped up, but I would love to take a look and see who they were all from and say hello to all of you right now. Woohoo! And if you're watching this on my personal Facebook page and you have not yet liked my my music page, Laura Dubin Jazz, please head on over there, give the page a like, because that way you'll be notified whenever we do these live videos or whenever I post any other kind of music-related content or any music news. Sometimes we have announcements to make about, projects we're doing. And my Facebook music page is one of the first places where you can find out that news. So we hope that you will like the page. All right. Scrolling down here, a lot of people are still watching. This is great.
Nice.
Yeah. And I've got something I got to do with the comments here tonight. So there's something here. Let's see.
Is the little theater soon or we?
That's in a couple weeks.
Oh, okay.
Let's see.
It's too soon.
Yeah. But yeah, we've got a little announcement that we'll be doing
the
soon.
virtual little
yeah.
theater.
Trying to sort the comments in a different way. 1, 2, 3. Okay, well, hopefully I got everybody here. Yeah. So Donna's watching. Great to see you again, Donna. Happy Easter. Thank you so much for watching
Donna.
again tonight. Oh, she says nice jazz festival shirt. Yeah, representing. So our name is on the back. It's probably very hard to see in the camera, but it says Laura Dubin Trio on the back of my shirt.
Yay.
This is from last year's jazz festival when we played West Side Story. Of course, we have to get the shirts every year because how could we not? Yeah, thank you so much. Happy Easter, Linda. Thank you so much for being here tonight.
Happy Easter, Linda.
Oh, I like
Thank
the little
you.
the little hatching chick emoji there. When I glanced down just from the corner of my eye, I thought it was a smiley face wearing a mask, which I thought was like very appropriate for this time, but it's a little chickie coming out of an egg. Thank you so much, Linda. Thank you for watching tonight.
Thank you,
Hola,
Linda.
Dianita. Muchas gracias for watching.
Diana,
Wait,
thank you, Dianita.
You taught me how to say this just last night, and I already forgot. Muchas gracias por vernos. Oh, I did remember.
Escucharnos. Vernos,
Escucharnos.
Yeah.
Because escuchar is kind of like...
Listening.
Okay, that's listen specifically, yeah.
Gracias.
Hey, Dad, thank you for watching again. I saw that today is Herbie's birthday. Oh, on a Jazz 90.1 Facebook post. Perfect. Thank you, Jazz 90.1, and to my dad for telling us that it's Herbie's birthday today.
Nice.
He's well, I think you've seen him live before, right? I haven't seen him live yet, and that's one of my major bucket list goals. So hopefully he'll come to Rochester sometime. But did you see him in Mexico?
In Mexico, yeah, it was one of my drums heroes. It's Vinny Colaiuta playing there. Yeah, it was incredible.
Oh my gosh!
It was not Tony Williams. He was not there, but it was Vinny, and it was incredible.
Well, Tony Williams is probably one of the first drummers that Herbie worked with when he first started his career.
He was 17 when they were playing with Miles.
Tony Williams, the drummer, was 17 years old.
Herbie was 22 or 23, something like that.
Crazy to imagine. So Miles Davis, a little bit of jazz history, had there were several periods of time where different configurations of musicians, like the Miles Davis Quintet with John Coltrane on saxophone was like kind of the first kind of quintet in the
Jimmy
50s
Cough
and 60s.
Drums
Yeah,
and,
exactly.
Paul
Yeah.
Chambers,
Yep. And then Red Garland on the piano, and the next kind of I guess like the next members of the group that was like the big quartet was Miles on the trumpet, Herbie Hancock on the piano, Ron Carter on the bass, and that was Tony Williams on the drums.
Yeah. And,
so
Wayne
he's
Shorter.
17. Yeah, Wayne Shorter, of course.
Yes.
I was going to say, who am I forgetting some very important Wayne Shorter on saxophone.
They just change everything when they make the all these fire tunes with a lot of it's like a model.
Yeah.
So open and
yeah. So modal jazz here's your jazz history lesson for the day. Lesson number 2, just for fun. So there was bebop, which I think I talked about a little bit in some of these videos. Bebop was a style of jazz that came about in the 1940s when jazz musicians who played in big bands were getting together after hours. So after their big band gigs were over, they would get together and just play together and jam into the wee hours of the morning. And they developed this musical vocabulary with a lot of faster tempos for one thing. It was music that was a little bit more meant for listening as opposed to dancing, which was what big band music essentially was. Of course, I love to listen to big band music too, but I think from the point of view of the musicians, they were creating music, this bebop style that was more for listening than rather than dancing, and they kind of changed a lot of the rhythms. It got a lot more like polyrhythmic. The improvisations were kind of longer lines, so like long continuous strands of like eighth notes going through different chord changes. But then modal jazz was sort of like the response to that, like about a decade later, like end of the 50s and early 60s. And this group, the Miles Davis group featuring Herbie Hancock, was like a big part of that kind of modal jazz revolution. So modal jazz is more like...
I'm happy that that you pick Made in Boyos for today, because
I love that too.
Herbie has a lot of
many great tunes.
Variety, but Made in Boyos is something...
It's got something special.
Yeah,
so that's a very modal... So when I say modal jazz, I'm talking about pieces that have less chords and more simple melodies, to actually give the improvisers more space to create more kind of sounds, and their improv was like less about specific lines, like kind of thought out sentences, like which is kind of how I think of bebop music
and
sometimes.
The motif
a little more about like sound,
the bass line.
Yeah, that too. So it's my impromptu jazz history lesson for the day. Some others could probably describe it a lot better than I just did, but that's my little off the cuff thing for today. So, hey Betsy, great to see you again. Thank you so much for watching. Betsy says, is there a bug? Oh my god. Thank you.
Sorry about that.
Oh my god, I was like, why is Antonio...
Sorry.
If my mom is watching, sorry, my mom loves spiders. Oh my gosh. If if you guys saw that, I don't know. Oh, you know what? I don't think the camera was showing you. And Antonio just killed a spider that was on the wall behind me. Thank God I didn't know it was there, because I would have screamed in the middle of the song. That's not as scary as the one I saw a few nights ago, by the way. Okay, anyway, I was saying hi to Betsy. Sorry about that, Betsy. Betsy says, glad I could hear you playing tonight. My granddaughter just said she must be a great piano player, and I agree. Oh, that's so sweet. No, I think we met your granddaughter at the Little Ones. I think you brought your grandkids there once, you and Paul. I remember that, I think maybe like a year or two ago. So great. If that's the same grandchild that you're referring to, it's great to see you again. Thank you so much. Yay, and your mom says hello again. Hola, ma.
Gracias, ma.
Hi, Donna. Oh, Donna, you left a couple comments. For some reason, I think your first comment showed up at the bottom. Hi, Donna, again. Thank you so much. She says, hello, Jazzy, Laura, and Antonio. Thanks. I love that. Thank you for entertaining your music. Thanks for entertaining your music-loving fans. I post your show every night on my Facebook page. Thank you so much. We really appreciate you sharing our videos so much. It's like... Really, it means the world to us that you continue to share them. Thank you so much. And it's been great that our friends have been sharing our videos, because our audience has grown significantly just in the last, now I can say month. It's been pretty much a month. So thank you so much to Donna and all of our friends who've been sharing our videos. Roger Newell. Hi, Laura. My cousin is Greg Marshall, and my wife's cousin is Bobby DeRosa. Hi, Roger. Nice to meet you here through Facebook. Thank you so much for watching. We hope you'll continue to watch these. Like I mentioned before, we're doing these every night at 8:30 p.m. So we hope you'll come back again. Thank you so much for being here tonight. Let's see. I think I got everybody here now. Let me just check my other page and make sure I didn't miss anybody. Yep, I think that was everyone. So thank you so much for watching, everyone. Enjoy the rest of your Easter Sunday, and thank you again for being with us, and we will see you tomorrow night as we commence week number 5, Semana Cinco. I speak a tiny bit of Spanish.
Thank you for watching.
Yeah, have a good night, everybody.
Bye-bye.
And sorry about that spider. Hey, Linda. I just saw that Linda wrote another comment. I want to read your comment real quick before I sign off here. I'm scrolling back again. Ooh. Linda says, so glad Antonio could save your life right on camera. Yes. So all of you who are here tonight just witness history. Spiders don't scare me as much as moths. Moths really freak me out. That I was worried that there was a moth behind me. So yeah. So thank you, Linda. That comment just made my night. Thank you for that. All right. Hopefully we'll be here tomorrow. Just the two of us. No spiders.
No spiders.
See you tomorrow. Bye.
Bye.